Welcome to the Round Table Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Pushell. We have our co-host today here, RW3 Lovely T and Lady B. Father, I was about to say Father God. Yes, I was about to say Father God. But anyway, and we have a special guest that Lady B is going to bring on. But before we go into our special guest, guys, listen, today we're having a very interesting topic that we're going to talk about. But before we get into that, we will love that you will go and share this page with someone. This is some important information that we think that you should definitely know. And so we would definitely want you to like and share. Maybe this doesn't pertain to you, but guess what? You still can send this link to someone that it does, in terms of credit. As well as even possibly starting a business in this area. But there's one thing we all have in common, and that's credit. You know what I mean? Everybody at least in the United States of America have that in common, and that's definitely credit. You can never get away from it. You can't run from it. I mean, unless you have a whole lot of cash, you know what I mean? Right. Maybe you could probably get away from it and hide away in the cracks. But if you don't have that $1 million bank account or billion or whatever it is, maybe you probably need to listen to this if you're under a 550 credit score, right? You know what I mean? So maybe this should be something that you listen to, this conversation from our guest speaker, and we're going to just go ahead and get into it. But we like to thank you. You definitely can leave comments. It's necessary to leave comments on this platform. You can go to our website as well that goes live. You can go to our our YouTube page. Also, it's like, and guess what? It's the same link that you see below. It's the Roundtable Podcast Official. The Roundtable Podcast Official. Did I say that? The Roundtable Podcast Official.
And don't say the.
Whether that be on YouTube, whether that be on Tony and Tasha page, whether that be on the Roundtable page. I said that wrong. Tasha. Whether that be on the Roundtable, whether that be on our IG, whether that be on our website, it's the same address. The Roundtable Podcast Official. So you can go now. We're on live. So if you know somebody who don't have a Facebook page, they can go to our website and type that in. And guys, listen, you'll be able to check out this pod. And listen,
can we real quick? Can we give Lovely T an opportunity to jump off, because we know her score is 100, but she got plenty of money, so this won't help her because she got.
Well, maybe it will. Maybe
she got plenty of money though. So I know her score about 50.
You have to ignore the shenanigans.
But even before we get into there, guys, listen, we have another interesting conversation that's going to go on after this. After we talk about credit. I don't know what we titled this one is coming on. I don't know what is it. What is it called? RW3. Who want to share that one?
I ain't your baby daddy. Nah.
Are we doing that one, or are we doing the other one? We doing the other one.
It's called
You could tell we ain't ready for this.
I changed it at the last minute. So
what did you change it to?
We're not going to baby daddy one.
That's the thing.
Oh, there's no title on it. I'm looking at it.
We're not going to baby daddy one.
Well, we're gonna save that one for next.
No, I thought we had it. I thought this is pitiful.
This is pitiful. I let the men do it. So this is...
Oh, is that what happened, Lady B? Call it out. I know you be on it.
Listen, this is what we're titled. I'm going to read the statement. It's from someone else's YouTube page, but it says, "Don't shoot the messenger," and it's called "Black Women Don't Want to Be Corrected by Black Men. That's the name of the podcast.
So they,
But listen, it's
Lovely T. Look at her.
we're gonna get more deep into it.
they
We're gonna
changed
talk
up our
about
stuff,
it.
but that's all right.
But no, RW3 sent me is so like I said, like you said, don't shoot the messenger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't shoot the messenger. That's what this
Right.
next podcast is going to be about. It's going to talk about.
Why am I not
Don't
surprised?
shoot the messenger. It says black women don't want to be corrected by black men. That's the next podcast.
RW3 was.
Listen, guys, that's right after this.
right
So
after
we're going
this
to get
one.
into
We have
this
a good
conversation. And I think RW3, is that who your guest is? Is this pertaining to that pod?
No, it's pertaining to the child one.
Okay, well,
Wow.
see, you confusing me, man.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, okay, so let's do the other one. We won't do this one. We won't do this one this Sunday. We'll run that next Sunday, and I'm gonna talk to y'all offline about next Sunday. Something else I gotta do. Okay, so but anyway, let's get into this topic, guys. About credit repair, but I'm a credit repair. I'm on Lady B to go ahead and just introduce our guest.
So I want to welcome our guest, Sandra Brown. Thank you for joining us on the round table. Yay! So awesome. So Sandra Brown, she's a credit restoration consultant. She believes with everything within her that she's here for a purpose. Uniquely designed with her experiences to impact, inspire, encourage, empower, and serve as many people as possible. Not doing so will leave her feeling as if she would have wasted her God-given gifts. Wow, awesome. We thank you for joining us.
We'd like to thank you for joining us again on the Roundtable Podcast show. Listen, guys, everybody. Okay. I understand, and right now, it's a great time to buy a house. The interest rates are low. People are buying cars, and even trying to send you emails about getting a credit card right now. They're doing all of the above right now. But guess what, guys? You have to have a good credit score, even in this day today, in terms of interest rates. Interest rates go up and down, and sometimes it's based on your credit score. It can save you a whole lot of money. A heap of money because you get good interest rates. But guess what? Your credit score have to be up to par in order for that to make even a difference in your life. To see that discount in your pay, even in your car note, you need credit. So it's something we're never going to get or get away from. Bankruptcy. You know how hard it is to get bankruptcy off your credit report. And there's people who file in bankruptcy left and right, but there's people who file bankruptcy and now they have, guess what, bankruptcy on their credit report. Well, we want to talk about these things today. Because sometimes it can affect you, sometimes it probably won't, but majority of the time they're gonna see that. But what if it's removed off your credit report? What if it's removed? What if you gotten these things removed off of your credit report? Guess what? You can be able to move differently in terms of your financial status because guess what? Your credit score stands out. Your credit score stands out. So we're going to talk to our guest today, and she's going to talk to us about credit repair. But the first thing I'd like to ask you, Ms. Brown, is Sandra Brown, now give us what is the name of your business?
Okay, I'm SB, the credit queen, in real life, restoring dreams. You know what? Your credit score, the thing about it, your credit score, our economy runs basically on it's a 75% credit driven economy. So you need credit. You definitely need credit. You need credit to get a cell phone. They determine what type of if you have to have a deposit, if you just basically turn it on your utilities. So if you don't have the right score out here, credit is very costly. It pays to have good credit because it's definitely cost. And sometimes you cannot even move forward in life. You cannot even leverage opportunities, all because of your credit score.
And that's so good. So what I want to say is that, like, okay, so what is considered a bad credit score? Like, what is considered just a bad credit score? What's the difference between in terms of numbers? What is a bad, medium, and excellent credit score? Can you give us anything in that area?
You know what? When determining interest rate, when I connect with my clients and I do a overall, what I think is best for them, you need to be out here and get the best scores. You need to really be having a 740, 750 credit score. Once that you can into dealership, you have to put thing down and you can walk out of there with the lowest of interest rates. Right now, home interest rates for homes at 1.99%. And some things you're just completely shut out of and you can't take advantage of because of that credit score. So I usually recommend to clients, because I look at things long term. A 1% interest, 1% differentiation in the interest rate. It's a lot when you look at it over a period of time. I know we've been trained and programmed because we live in a fast-paced society that we want everything quick, but the calculations of the numbers, you want to be in the best position possible when you're trying to get loans and when you're being financed for loans. Because basically with a low credit score, you looked at upon as a high risk. And most often you're not going to get approved. And if you get approved, what they're going to do is take advantage of that low score and have you paying double-digit interest rates for a vehicle that you did not want, but the vehicle that they chose for you, because it's transactional when it comes to a dealership. They don't care if you can afford it when you drive off, but you'll be paying double-digit interest rates for a high-end car that's not worth it because of your credit score. I see people walk off the lot with Mercedes-Benz. Don't even have to have anything down, but because of their credit worthy, just based on their credit score. And I've seen people walk off the lot, which was myself at one time, just based on saying this experience. Going onto the lot hours at a time because I wasn't worthy of the vehicle that I wanted. But because I was in a need that I needed something, I just end up choosing to get what they gave me with a double-digit interest rate. So it costs you to have good credit. It costs, but it's worth it because you can leverage it. You can better position yourself, for better opportunities.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can I jump in? So, Ms. Brown, credit is tricky though. Right. And I was fortunate that at a very young age, off at college, as soon as you step on the campus, you got people giving you candy bars, fill out this app, and I think, my girlfriends, we laugh at it now. We had 8-10 department store credit cards, jacked everything all up, but young enough to learn lessons and come back from that, but in all of that, in the ups and downs, credit is really tricky. And I was just, hoping that you could kind of unpack and dive into that, because to me, it's more than just pay your bills on time. I didn't know, when I thought it was that, I didn't know how having a credit card for a number of years and then closing it could be negative, or how having a certain amount of debt is really where you want to be. And versus in terms of having a credit card versus, what I'm saying? Because some people are like, well, just go out and get a credit card. But if you charge it to the max, that's going to count against you. And so it's like this game of not only just pay your bills on time and, get a credit card and pay it on, it's like tricks to it. So could you talk more about some of those that we often don't know, or don't pay attention to?
You just talked about it.
Absolutely. You know what? When it comes to credit cards, you really see what most of the time what it is sometimes you're just not literate on how it's supposed to be used. Credit really is not supposed to just be out watches and clothes and things. And credit usually was supposed to be used as leverage so that you can access to things so that it can generate, income or generate wealth. But we think that credit is used to just go out, purchase clothes and things, max it out. A credit card, actually, that's 30% of your credit score. You definitely need a credit card, but you got to know how to use it. And you cannot go over 30% of the utilization that's on the credit card. I usually recommend to stay under 10%. That way you can get the maxed out score when you, it's all dependent upon on the knowledge that you have. What I do is I don't just normally repair credit, but what I do is I help clients rebuild. And when they come a part of the services, it's a financial literacy company where you're being educated on how to use it, and you're being educated on it, how to build. So yes, you want to definitely have a credit card because that's actually 30% of your credit score. But you want to have the knowledge that it takes to be able to use it effectively so that you can get the best score possible with that. Now, and so even like when they come out.
No, I want you to continue talking, but what I want to say is that now, did you hear what she said? That was very important because a lot of us, when we get credit cards, we think that we can use it. There is a game to the credit madness, but you have to know that game to the credit madness. So I want you guys to really pay attention to what she's saying, and this could be the reason why you connect with her, because maybe some of you guys say, "Well, I don't really know the understanding of how to have a credit card." Maybe you should get the knowledge before you even get one. So they don't teach us that in school, guys. At high school, they should be teaching you at a high school level where they should be telling you about financial, especially about your credit, because it makes a big difference in society. But notice they don't even teach you that in high school. Listen, principles are, if you out there, if you really want to have a subject that matters in terms of the real world, set up some type of credit system, a program within the school, because guess what? You're going to have 12th graders venturing off to college, and they need to know about credit. She could be the perfect example. They will come into your school, that will set you guys up, that will be able to train your students on credit, where they're going to have to go to college, and maybe they won't make the mistakes of going and getting all these high-end credit cards and just maxing them out and wonder why their credit is blew out. I have 3 daughters with great credit scores, very good credit. I won't tell their business, but they got great credit scores, but because they know how to manage their credit because of training. We've trained them how to do their credit. Listen, guys, she's very important to you financially. I mean, she's very important. So I just wanted to elaborate more in that area about the power of credit. Now, let's switch things real quick. Let's talk about the power of having a great credit score. Because what are some benefits of having a great credit score?
You know what you get? Like I said, you get the lower end. You get the lowest interest rates on vehicles. You don't even have to pay. You can go in and get the vehicle, and don't even have to pay anything down. If you in the market to purchase a home, interest rates are at an all-time low, 1.99%. But some people cannot take advantage of that because of credit scores. Credit is like a cancer in our community because, you can't move forward and you can't leverage opportunities because you don't have the knowledge that you need to be able to have access to those things. And like I said before, credit is good. It's good to have, but you need to know how to use it. Exactly. Because sometimes credit can open up doors that financially you might not even have. You heard the term we're using other people's money because it's credit. It has a lot to do with credit. That's a bad credit score is so costly. It's so costly. And over a period of time,
but, for people in poverty, and again, just I'm not an expert by any means, but I do know that when you are in a position where you have earning power, you are in a better position to pay things on time. if my tire breaks and that's my only mode to get, you know, back and forth to work, and I don't have that slush fund just yet because I'm living check to check. Something as simple as a tire can throw my whole budget off.
That's right.
And then I have to pick and choose, am I going to pay the credit card bill or am I going to get this tire fixed? And then boom, you got a late payment. So I'm interested, you know, in your tips on, you know, that segment of people that are living literally paycheck to paycheck. You know, how do they create credit with such small disposable income at hand? Or, you know, the fact that if just one thing falls out of place, kid gets sick, whatever, that it can knock everything all. It's like a domino effect. You know what I mean?
That's really good.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the educational. Yeah. It's educational tool. It's a part of the process too. The budgeting tool, not just you count using your money, not living off 100% of your income, showing you how to live off of less than that, and actually not even knowing how to use the credit card. Say, for instance, your regular monthly bills, you use your credit card because you're going to pay that stuff anyway. So just using that to pay your regular normal bills and then paying off the credit card because it's showing it is being used, but you're not using it to create debt. You're using it so that you can build and have a good score. And as far as with even with that, when you stated as far as like a tire, you might not have the finances, but if you've been using your credit card the right way, sometimes you can leverage the credit card for a mishap that might come up like that. You never want to max out all of your money. You know, so our whole program showed you not to max out your money. You know, you want to be, it shows you how, because it's not what you make most of the time, it's what you do with what you make. You know, so like I said, but you definitely, when it comes to the credit world, you definitely want to have that score because that score can definitely give you access. Even if you don't have all the money, when you have a popping credit score, it can cause you to have the ability to leverage that so that you can create the necessary resources that you would need.
You got something?
So
and it can generate resources.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to ask you about a situation where a person, they got themselves in a bind. They had the credit cards, and then they lost the job, and then now they have charge-offs on their credit. So I mean, what can a person do in terms of if they find themselves in that position where now they have a whole bunch of charge-offs? What do you guys, you know, what do you do in terms of how do you educate your clients on that or helping them?
Okay, what I usually do is I look at their complete profile. Because it's not only just repairing and removing the negative items, but it's showing you how to build forward. But what we do is I normally go after everything that's reporting negatively on the credit report, everything all at one time. And so, like I said, I usually do an analyzation of, because everybody's score is different, everybody's situation is different, you know, and I personally, know that those things can come off because I'm giving back based on my own experience.
That's right.
You know, and like I said, I was my husband had an illness. Sometimes things can hit your home and it can catch you on the blind side. You know, so it kind of left us financially broken, credit challenged, and in bankruptcy. And so that being said, it's certain things that I learned through experience that I know, leveraging the different the Fair Credit Reporting Act and using it as a tool to help build forward. You know, and like I said, I'm coming from a place, this business was birthed out of, a challenged place, building
That's
forward.
Right.
We can take our obstacles and then turn it into an opportunity, or we can take that you know, I chose to move forward with the obstacle that hit our household, and I allow our experiences to be able to birth out something that would definitely help our community, because our community is lacking in so many areas, because not that they're trying to, but sometimes it's just the things that you don't know. Most of the time, our biggest barrier is because we don't know. Because you don't know, you can't leverage opportunities. Because you don't know, you can't leverage different things. And because you don't know, it's a formula that's associated with credit. And because if you don't know the formula and how it works, you won't be able to take access. You won't be able to leverage it and create, you know, the different things higher.
Let me ask you this. So what Lady B was saying, and I guess to shorten that down, you can remove, or you know how to remove charge-offs.
What is charge-off?
What about
what's charge-off? Do you want to know what charge-offs are, Lovely T?
Okay, well, let me add this, because I'm trying to set her up for people that patronize her business, because a lot of times that's what people want to know. They want to cut through the mustard. And I guess I'm trying to set you up to say that you can remove charge-offs. And as now, let me ask you this, and you will talk about what charge-offs are. But what about that word, that popular word, bankruptcy? Because there's got a lot of black people, or black, whites, it don't matter who you are, that they deal with that. They have that. Is that a possibility that can be removed off a credit report?
Absolutely, don't take 7 to 10 years.
Wow.
I'm a product of I'm a product of the service. And with charge off, what it is it's an account, unpaid account that actually the original lender has actually got paid for the account, and they didn't charge it off as debt. And what happens is agencies will purchase that and come after you with it. And because you don't know, you don't have the knowledge of different things, the credit collection agencies will leverage it against you. You know, it becomes yours by way of omission when you admit it. So every time is because everything is based on just whether you know, lack of knowledge, or based on what you don't know. And sometimes you can be taken advantage of based on what you don't know. And sometimes you can be able to, all the time you can be able to move forward because of what you do know.
So how will somebody respond to that if, in fact, someone purchased the debt and they are calling you and saying you owe this? I mean, how do people respond to that? Do they negotiate a plan with them in terms of like what route would they take to reestablish, and get back on the right track with respect to their credit if they're getting those calls?
Well, you know what? I would have to see the actual persons, hear the actual because everybody's situation is completely different. Okay. And they can go in a broad way. I would definitely want to hear the analogy of what the person's situation is. But yes, actually with the services that I provide, we actually have attorneys that's locked in, actually that they would have access to, that they would not have to have an additional retainer fee to utilize. So, and if they're having issues with companies calling them, actually we can have that stop as well. But I usually like to take an analogy of the person's situation, and I can best approach it based, because everybody's situation is a little different, and everybody's process might be a little different.
Right. And Ms. Brown, I think that's excellent, because there's a lot of like you say, every person's situation is different, and so my mind, because I'm a social worker, tends to lean towards people who might be in stressful situations, not those are just like purely irresponsible. And so to be able to stop the noise, right? People constantly calling you. You got to monitor your phone calls. You got to, play all these games, like just to be able to like stop that, like knowing that they could come to you and they can explain the situation, and that's maybe one of the things that you can, get going immediately. Once the noise stops, or at least is turned down, that I'm sure helps people kind of think more clearly about, how they can move forward.
Right.
That's right. And
Right.
now before you talk, Sandra, okay, so here's the thing, guys. It's definitely worth you checking her out, going to her website, or we're going to put up her information. A lot of things she's not sharing with you because you need to go pretty much check her out, see what she's about. She can help you straighten your situation out. There's testimony. She have a personal testimony which she just given. Guess what? She can help you. Listen, it's very important that you sometimes we can have a good credit score, but you can even go to her for just the knowledge and information so you won't fall into a trap down the line. It's just like just having that information to say, maybe you do have a credit score. That's not true, because maybe you don't really know how to work a credit card. Young people, I know a lot of young people, they don't know how to work I know grown people know how to work a credit card. Because they're real tricky. Listen, I didn't know about that 30% until I did my own research to say, okay, you spending too much, or guess what? Making sure if you do. Now, this is those who do have the money. If you do, you're aware around that 30%, if you have the cash to pay it off before that next month come around. So when they report that, you already done paid the debt off. But a lot of people don't even know that. They say, I just wait and just pay on it. Nope, that's going to affect your credit. It's going to affect your credit scores, where it's going to your bottom line, and it could drop the credit score. Because you're over the 30%. But if you go and pay it right then and there, sometimes it'll help you. Listen, Credit Karma, all of these different places you can check your credit point. Let me give you something that happened to us, right? Or me. Credit Karma at that time was telling me that my credit score was in the low 6s. And I didn't know it was in the low 6s. And I had went somewhere, and I think I went to the bank. And the bank I wanted to get something. I can't really remember, but they sent my information to me, and they told me my credit scores was 757. You know what I mean? So Credit Karma, listen, you need to learn about these different things about how to check your credit out. I'm going to give you another one. I remember, and I'm only saying this because this is why you can use her, right? I went to a seminar, it was some years ago, and I was half cocky, like I'm always am. I was half cocky going into the seminar at this time. We had a couple of houses. We owned a couple of houses at that time, and I went in there, and I was talking to the guy, and he was talking to me, and I couldn't wait. I was half loaded, and he was like, it was about real estate, and he was like, he said, do you own a house? Yeah, I said, yeah, I got a couple of houses that I own. I got a couple of houses that I own. I'm that guy. He looked at me. He said, okay. He said, are the homes in your name? Now, this a whole nother game that I'm gonna bring somebody else on so you'll get this. And I said, yeah. He said, that's your first mistake, that you have the houses. And I know a lot of people don't realize this. I'm going somewhere that's totally different. He said, that's your first mistake, that them houses are all in your name. He said, there's a difference between having a paydex score and putting, and I'm gonna show you how that makes a difference for what she's saying. That he was saying that credit, if you had business credit, you can put some things in your name to offset. So if something were to happen, it's gonna fall on the business and not in your name. And at that time, I didn't know that. I knew a whole lot about business credit, but I didn't know that part. So I shrunk. You get what I mean? Like, okay, I done put myself out here on my debt, and now this man on my debt. But here, what am I saying? Now, if she helped you straighten your credit out, guess what? You can become a guarantor of your own business. You get the business. I'm going to bring somebody on here about building their paydex score. I don't know if Miss Brown know about that, but payday score, so that you can understand what payday score mean of your own business. Because guess what? If she helped you get your credit score right, you can offset that by if you own a business, get a tax ID number, get a business name, get and put that credit, be the guarantor of your own business. So now guess what? You can offset a whole lot of things, and it's in the business name, and it won't directly fall on you. But having a good credit score makes that work. It helps you make that work. Because listen, it's so much. I'm excited for her because I know her. I'm excited for her. I know she know what she's doing. You guys gotta believe me. I know what she know what she's doing, guys. But I'm excited for her because this is her business, and I know this woman's heart. I know she has a real good heart, and she really wants to help people. This is not somebody who just coming on here that we didn't know, just doing business. This woman has a good heart. She has a good heart. She want to make a difference in your life, and that's why I'm telling you, listen, patronize her business if you really want to see a change within your credit. And I think the biggest thing that we fail in is lack of education. Lack of education. It whips our butt in terms of our credit. It whips our butt because we don't, and self-control. Lack of education and self-control kicks our butt all day long. I'm gonna
say too, we learn differently, Tom, because the financial game, I'm not gonna say it's a white man language, but it can be very overwhelming when you have all of this like new language and new, stuff coming at you, and it's like, wait a minute, hold on, this is too much. I'm gonna just shut down. So when you can, so another advantage of taking linking up with like someone like Mrs. Brown is that I'm sure like she can help kind of be that liaison between all of the jargon and business language and and breaking it down into a way that's digestible for the common person, in terms of outlining some very practical steps for people to get started on the right path.
That's right. So Sandra, I want, how long we messing with? What time we messing? But I want you to talk about some of the things that you can do in terms of why would they patronize your business? What are some things that they can look forward to in terms of you straightening out their credit? And I want to let you go ahead and do that now.
Okay. Well, you know what? People that have came to me with desires and dreams to become homeowners, I was able to help position them to accomplish that based on the knowledge, based on how to help them rebuild and restructure their credit score. Even as far as I have a service that's called Credit My Rent. And that's geared towards people that do not, that are not homeowners, because your rent payments don't get, you don't get credit for that. But that's the biggest payment that you pay each month. So I have other services that, that would help them and position them to accomplish their goals. So when they usually come to me, they either want to become a homeowner, they want to purchase a new vehicle, or they want to use their credit to leverage it for business opportunities. So what I do is I partner up with them and help accomplish their goal. And that's why I say as be the credit queen in real life, restoring dreams. And what I'm going to do, because I'm doing a relaunch actually on tomorrow, and it's going to be educational. So if they want to plug in, I can actually invite them to my relaunch on tomorrow of the business. And it's going to be educational and show how the credit score is calculated. It's going to be broken down as far as the percentages and everything. So it's going to be very informative. It's going to be on tomorrow. And
guys, here's the information. Here's the information that's on the screen now. Listen, I'm telling you, if you want to make a change, listen, do you know there's some people who actually use their credit to start their business? I'm talking about as far as the real estate game. Yeah, they learn later down the line about payday scores and different things. But the start of this thing is getting your credit together. Listen, if you know how to leverage your credit, if you know how to make your credit work, I mean, there's people with 800 credit scores became millionaires because of they know how to work their credit scores. I mean, so listen, you don't have to sit at that job if you don't listen. You sit at that job because you want to sit at that job. You do those things because that's something that you don't. That's right. You don't necessarily have to do that. And credit can help you, can be a traveling agent to get you to where you need to be at if you know how to leverage your own credit, if you know how to make your credit work for you and not you working for your credit, right? You get what I mean? You know how that is. We working a job just to pay bills. You get what I mean? Let your credit do the work for you. I mean, she's going to set you up, put you in positions so that you can make that thing happen. Now, here's the thing. I want to switch lanes a little bit. You also, and I don't know if you want to even talk about this, but I know you also, or do you want to talk about the business aspect side of it?
Okay. Well, you know what? They can see that information. We're going to share that on tomorrow on the actual lunch, or how if they want to partner and get their services at the same time, you know, and build for it, how they can come into a partnership with as well.
You know, on that flyer that you all put up, it didn't have. It said ask for the Zoom. It doesn't give a number or a link where to ask for the Zoom on that flyer.
Put it up again.
No, I don't have it on there. Put it up there again, but maybe Sandra can give some more information on that.
Yeah, maybe you can give us some good looking out RW3. Yeah, right. So maybe we need.
Is it a phone number, Sandra? Like a number they can call in?
Yeah, you
take that down.
Actually, they can text credit repair. They can text credit repair to 248-993-4294, and I forward them the link.
Do it one more time.
It broke up.
Do it one more time. Even if you have your phone, because listen, I really want people to reach it. So this is what I want you to do. Say it again, but text it to lovely Lady B right now while you sitting there. Text it so I can have. Good. The producer put it up. There you go. So I want you guys to look at this. Write this number down. If you're concerned about where you are in terms of your credit, listen. I want to say this because I want to drive this home. If you own your own home and you don't have a great credit score, guess what? And you have windows in your home, window treatment can be poor where all the heat is going out of the windows. Guess what? If you had a good credit score, you can get window treatment to your home. You can get, and you might have to pay a financing company, but guess what? Saving that air from leaving your house, guess what? Can save you a whole lot on your bills just by having good credit. See, it's a whole lot of, maybe you want to get some things done around the house and your credit score is not there. Maybe you need to get to work and you driving that car and you know that car, that can be the biggest thing of you losing your job because you can't get back and forth to work. Listen, there's so many ways or so many reasons why you need to have good credit, or at least start off to getting that way. You know, getting a 600 credit score. I mean, whatever it is that it can help you, even to putting down payments on cars. Just like I'm just reiterating these things because I want to drive it home to you so you really get it. Look, now is the time. Now I'm gonna end it like this. Income tax is coming around. You don't have any excuse. If you have an income tax check, think about it. Right. Here's the decision. I want to go buy those new boots with my credit, with my income tax check, or I want to get my credit repair so that I can have lower interest rates and I can save a whole heap of money, or I want to go buy a car. Now let me go there. I have $2,000. I want to buy a car, but I have a 400 credit score. You know what I mean? 400, and I want to buy this car, and now listen, the dealership gonna be happy to take your money. But guess what? I want you to know: your interest rate's gonna be so high in the sky, you might not have that car before the year is up. You might not have that car before the year is up.
Because they know long as they get you in there, they gonna make the transaction, even if it's forwarded or not. As long as they get you in there.
That's right.
It's just transactional for them. They're going to get paid. Once you leave out the door, you're going to deal with the finance company after that.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's so I'm going to have to end it here. Sandra, I thank God for you. I know that you are a blessing to for credit. She is the credit queen. Listen, guys, I want you to patronize her business. I want you to go to, like, right now. I don't know. Give this number a shot. I mean, she's going to have informational meeting tomorrow. I don't know if it's a webinar or whatever, but just get in contact with her so you can find out all of these great things that you would need to get on the road to having a great credit score. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end it like this. Right now, they're having this thing where they're not. Different states are doing it, right? Where they're building brand new homes. And guess what? They're allowing you to rent those homes now, where they're not. Listen, the landlord business is still good, but guess what? They're building brand new homes in some communities, and they're allowing you to go live in those brand new homes, and they're rental homes. But guess what? Your credit have to be right, where you don't have to go live in that old raggedy house with this dirty landlord that don't want to fix up the house, that don't want to do anything. Your credit can be good enough, or maybe you don't even want to buy a house, but guess what? You can go live in those districts now where you can because you can afford to live there because of the credit report. I'm just saying, it's so much. We could talk hours about why you need good credit, but check her out. Check her out, because that's the person.
I think I'm gonna jump on, because I'm trying to get this Corvette this summer, so I need to get my credit out the basement.
Well, that's right. Do what you. That's right. That's right.
RW3.
That's right.
Excuse me.
But listen, I digress from that. We digress from that. We have to go for Sandra. We'll talk to you. And matter of fact, I'm gonna bring you back, because every now and again I want you to come on, and I tell everybody I'm gonna bring them back, but I'm gonna really bring you back. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna bring you back, because and listen, this is what I want you to do though. When you come back, I want you to have one nugget that you can give us that's a part of what it is you do, that you could talk freely on, where you could just give that nugget where will make people say, oh, wow, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? And maybe we want to, because I know a lot of people aren't educated in credit, and it's a very serious issue. So, and a testimony, we'll try to figure out some testimonials or whatever, but we'll figure all that out. But I think that I want you to have to come out. And right now, we're gonna set up another day. We're gonna get back in contact with you to come back on, because I know it's tax coming around, income tax coming around. People do have money, and this is worth the investment. I made this statement, I put it on my social media. I said that wealthy people make money, poor people spend money. Now, this is crazy. Wealthy people make money, poor people spend money. And then I said that wealthy people give to charity, and poor people is at the receiving end of the charity. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you know, that's deep. But guess what? You don't have to be there anymore. You don't have to be in that area. You can make the decision and say, I'm going to change today, and I'm going to change, starting with calling this woman up, calling this, put up her screen again of the credit repair place again. I'll call her up right now. Text credit repair, because I want to make a difference. I'm tired of just buying fur coats and I'm broke. I'm tired of buying new cars and I know I can't afford it. And I'm tired of having a 25 inches what is that, interest rate on my cars, but I still sign on the dotted line knowing my car note gonna be $500 or $600 on a car that not even worth it, and you're gonna pay 3 times as much. You need to be in there signing up and making a difference, because you just tired of being tired. Tired of being tired. You want to be tired of being tired. You know what I mean? Reach out to her. Sandra, we love you.
Yes, thank you.
We love you.
Thank you
go ahead. Say something. You want to say something?
Yeah, it was an honor. Thank you for even allowing me to come on and share, because it's an honor, to be honest, because I see so many hurt, but they just don't know how to change things around. So that's what my heart is at. And I just want to say that you can overcome anything, and restoration is possible in all areas: mind, body, soul, spirit, and finances.
That's right.
So
that's right.
with that being said, I'll hop off because I got to launch 2 business people actually at 6 o'clock and then one at 7. So God bless you. It was
talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you so much. It was an honor.
All right, thank you. See you soon. Guys, we thank for that interesting conversation about credit repair. We're changing the tune now. When you see that beat drop, we're changing it now. I'm gonna get some better music. And guys, listen, I put this out. This was a quickie. I don't. The way my mind is running 5 days a week and trying to do different things, I'm not really having the time. But I got to make the time to actually put. I'm gonna have some chill music in here, guys. Watch, you just gonna be a cool podcast. We're gonna get some real music in here, and we're gonna play this music some real low. I got you guys. I got you. I know if you're watching, I got you. But anyway, guys, we digress from that credit repair, which was a really good conversation. But guys, we're going to go into a more interesting conversation that, hey, listen, it can spark an argument altogether if you really look into this one here. We're going to talk about. And I think we got a video to show.
Yeah, we got a video to show.
Lady B, what are we talking about?
So we're going to be talking about what the title is. I didn't know my 6-year-old daughter was not mine all these years.
Wow.
So we're gonna play a video real quick so we can kind of get the conversation going.
That's right. So let's get this video going. I want to play this video, and I think it's about 3 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know the length. What is it, RW3?
That's about 8 minutes.
Let's play it, guys, and we're gonna sit back and relax. Get your popcorn and everything, and let's play this video and check this video out.
This girl seems look just like Lovely T too, but we'll see.
Oh,
what?
We waiting on you, producer. So you good. She got it up. Is it? We good? Come back to the screen so we can see the people on the screen.
Yeah, until we get it together.
Until we get ready.
It's right inside of the link. It's right in there.
Okay. In the meantime,
producer, take down this.
RW3, you know
this picture.
This was hidden close.
Here we go.
Don't even try it. Don't even try it.
Is it turned up? Okay.
Michael, how have you been?
Hey, can't complain. God has been good.
All the time, God is good. Good to see you, Michael. Yeah. See, that's why I like him. He's such a positive young man.
Why don't we head on over to the table? Jasmine and my mom is waiting for us.
Smells good in here. Sounds like
Mom, Dad! I'm so glad y'all could make it. Dad, I miss
y'all. How are you doing, baby girl?
You know we wouldn't have missed this for the world, honey.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Hey, Catherine, how are you doing? I'm doing well. How are you? I can't complain. Long time no see. How have you been? God is good. All the time. Jasmine, where's my baby? We came all this way, and she's not at the table to eat dinner with us.
She wasn't feeling well, so I put her to bed early.
We came all this way, and we don't get to see our baby.
Don't worry, Mom. I'll get her back to dinner.
Sounds good. That smells good. Let's have prayer so we can have some of this delicious food.
Yes.
I'm starving.
God, thank you for this food that we're about to receive through the nourishment to our mind, bodies, and soul. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, that was a trip.
It was no
Good.
I hope seeing that chicken didn't offend Lovely T.
You see, I love the chicken.
Thank you, Mom. Except those raisins, right?
Please don't ever do that again. Everything is awesome.
Thank you.
So, Michael, I thought you said you had a surprise for us.
Baby, I thought we were only doing a family dinner.
I almost forgot, but let me go get it.
Oh, Jasmine, this is the bonus we've been waiting for, isn't it?
It better be some early Christmas gifts or something.
With that bonus, yeah. Oh, it's in another envelope.
Oh, that means money is in the envelope, right? Yes,
Oh.
thank you.
Captain, I can't wait to see what the ticket is to. Yes.
Baby, what is this?
It's a surprise.
Surprise.
What the?
What would you do differently in your life right now if you fully believed in yourself and if you believed it was?
Baby, what is this?
You know what it is, Jasmine.
Baby, why? Why would you do this right now?
Well, I figure everyone needs to know the truth, right?
Jasmine, you have some explaining to do.
Mom, it's not what it looks like.
And tell us what it is.
Baby, can we please go talk in private? Please.
No, Jasmine. You've done enough in private. Let's talk right here.
Baby, please don't do this right now.
So, this means that my grandbaby? Is it my grandbaby? Jasmine, you have some explaining to do. You need to say something.
Sandra.
I can't stomach this. Richard, we need to go. We need to go.
Please.
What you crying for?
When did you find out about this?
I found out yesterday when I took Ava to the doctor. But I always had my suspicions.
What do you mean? What suspicions, Michael?
You think I didn't notice, Jasmine?
Notice what, baby? Notice what?
Ava doesn't look like me. She doesn't have any of my features. For 6 years, I tried to convince myself that I was probably wrong. But every time I look at her, I knew something was wrong.
But she loves you. And you love her. You're the only thing that little girl knows. Please.
Jasmine, she's not my child.
We're already a family, Michael. Please.
Do you know who her father is?
Baby, that was 6 years ago. I don't know.
So many people have you been messing with?
I haven't been with anybody but you, Michael.
But Jasmine, that's not what the DNA test says.
Okay. It was one mistake, and that's it. But baby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please.
You need to pack your stuff.
Baby, why? Why?
You and Ava have 1 week to get out of my house.
Please don't do this. Please.
That's Robert. Just kick him on the street.
We can't hear you, Tone.
Okay. Unmute me. I don't know if I'm muted.
We can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. I want to cut it there because I wanted to end like that, where he says that you need to leave and take your child with you. Now, here's the thing. Do we believe that he's wrong for saying that? Is he wrong for telling I don't know. That was his wife, or that his wife, or just girlfriend.
I think that's his wife.
It was
Yeah,
wife.
that was his wife.
Okay, so now this is his wife. I don't know how long they've been married. Obviously, it had to be some
More than
years.
6 years.
6
yeah.
years. So they're vested in one another. Is he wrong for telling her to pack her bags? And was he wrong in the way that he did it? Did he set this up wrong? Should he have just talked with her without the parents? Did the parents need to hear that? You know, what was it? Because, you know, you're not just hurting, you're hurting multiple people here. Is a scene of what's it? There's a scene of events is going on here. You're hurting the lady that you love. You're hurting the child. You're hurting the grandmother, the grandfather on both sides of the family. So everybody has been getting a portion of hurt right here, right? Everybody's been shared this portion of hurt. So was he wrong for how he set it up, and was he wrong for telling her to leave? And take the child with you. What do we think about that?
First of all, I want to say, hey, Delisa.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's get into our guests. I'm sorry to our guests.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. RW3, will you be able to introduce our guests? Because we don't, you know.
I invited her because she has, Miss Glaspie has over 25 years. But I mean, she's a therapist as well and working with families, children, things of that nature. So besides, you know, the question you asked, Tone, I want her to bring an element. If in fact he goes through with this, how could it negatively impact the child? And kind of give us that perspective in terms of families and how it can impact the child and things of that nature. So she can bring that element also, the element maybe defending the woman like I know Lovely T gonna do, but.
Yeah. But at the same time, we're going to look at it from both that's perspective, but we also going to look at it not in the area. I want to know how you feel as a person, and not just from an educated perspective, but from an area of how do you feel? You know, how would I feel regardless if we was in that if you were in that shoes, how would you feel? Because I want to know what people are feeling in this situation here. So it kind of like give us what's going on with this society today of how they feeling. But how do we want to stop?
Let me jump on this right quick so I can just put it out there. She should have thought of when she was laid up with old boy, she should have thought about that before she laid up with old boy. So I'm responding to her nonsense. So the fact that you laid up with old boy and the baby, you should have thought about that. Matter of fact, he should have had a dinner party with the family, everybody there. Family, cousins, everybody. And boom. That's just my thought.
What do you think about that, Lovely T?
You emotional.
I'm emotional.
You emotional?
What's she crying for?
No, your little heart got broke. No.
Why is she crying?
Life happens, right?
Why is she crying, Lovely T? Why is she crying?
Because she got caught. Because she got called out on her mess. I mean, come on. I don't think that she should go without being held accountable for her actions. But the reality is you 6 years in, dude.
Okay, well, she can go
and I'm sorry.
She can go and the child can stay. She can get the hell out. What is that better?
Well, and I think that's what happened later on in the show. Do you agree with
that? You get out. The baby can stay.
No, my child is coming with me, so that's not an option.
But
now,
listen,
if I need the child to stay there until I can get reestablished, okay, fine. But ultimately, my child will always be with me primarily. Now, if it don't work, that's fine. Now, back to Tone's question: was he wrong for? Yes, he was. He was immature in how I feel, because again, it's how I feel. He was immature in how he handled that. He should have handled it privately with her first. And then if there was a decision to bring the family in, fine. But the way he did that, it was purely out of revenge for how he felt he was betrayed. There was no benefit other than revenge. And I want to embarrass you and shame you in front of everybody because of how deeply you hurt me. So was he wrong for doing it that way? Yes.
Well,
Is
they
he
say
wrong
hurt
for
people
kicking?
hurt. They say hurt people hurt people.
Hurt
So
people
yeah,
hurt people. That's right.
so he was
What?
hurt.
And so he said, "Yep, you hurt me, so I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna hurt you even more. I'm gonna embarrass and shame you in front of the family." Now, was he wrong for kicking her out?
Well,
I'm
he ended up not
gonna
kicking her
say
out.
50. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
50-50. Not really even 50-50. But I can't impose. It's hard for me to impose my, how I feel on that person's situation. He has the right to say, like, you know what, this child isn't mine, and I know I'm 6 years in, but I just can't deal with this reality. Like, he may just even need time to like process it and then maybe
how you
later
feel.
come
We
back.
ain't talking about him. How do you feel, Lovely T?
I would, of course, I would want to salvage everything because this is the only father that the child has known. I think it is wrong for him to be like 2 weeks. What the hell? 2 weeks? Unless, but if that's what's needed, then, they obviously they have a support system. They have parents that are readily available. She can go live with mama.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because what I don't want to happen, and this is on a for real, is to stay in that home and have him very, very angry at me and the child and resentful towards the child, because I don't know how he's going to treat me or my child while he's that elevated in his anger and resentment. Absolutely. So in order, even just from a safety perspective, I would rather just, if you need time, I'm out, and we can deal with this at a distance with each other. So that would be mine.
Yeah. Okay. So here's another thing that we missed. Obviously, well, from what I'm hearing, did she have an affair? Did she cheat on? She had an affair. I'm talking about as far as in the relationship. She was out of it. Okay. So to me, is a lot in this. Is a lot here. There's a lot here. But one of the things that I would say before I even get there, and then we want to hear from you before the guest speaks, Lady B, is that women has gone through this so many times where the men cheats and have the baby, and the woman deals with it, accept the child. It's been happening for years, but women get the down. I mean, yeah, a lot of basketball players out here having kids, and I know some personally who the woman she accepts the child. She brings them in after the mistake was done. So this is not something that's not, I mean, we see it. I see it. I've seen it more than, you know what I mean? It's not something that's out of things that just don't happen. Okay, so for me, I understand how he feels. Okay, so first, that would be the thing for me. I do understand, because guess what? I'm human. I have emotions. I'm going to be angry, obviously, but I'm going to tell you what. One of them, for me, the fact that you cheated outside of the relationship, before we even get to the child, that this was something that you cheated and you hid under the rug and tried to make it seem like this is my child. So now we have a lot of other issues there as well. Deception. We didn't even get a chance. You didn't give me a chance to say yes or no. You did it out of fear. You were afraid to lose everything. So I do get that. So for me, I don't know. The other side of me probably would have did the same thing. That part, I just want to get her back. I can't believe you did it. I probably would have did something worse, not in the area of hurting her, but just set up something where it would just, because I'm hurt, hurt to the fact that, here's the thing for me, you cheated on me. And now you covered it up and you threw this responsibility on me I'm going to play that game in my mind. I'm going to be in the bed. I'm like, wait a minute. You cheated on me. Now you want to stick me with the mistake you made and cover it up and say it's my child. I'm going to go through those emotions, because guess what? It don't matter what degree you have. You still have a flesh. You still make decisions up here that can be right or wrong. Everybody has this. You can analyze it any way you want. But my thing is that you still have these. You have this person that you deal with, and it's you, right? Okay, so on that level, my thing would be, I wouldn't kick her out. At the same time, I wouldn't have done it that way. on the mature side to dealing with this situation, I think what I would have done, we definitely would have had a talk. Now, I would have somebody that I consider to be responsible there because of the anger that probably can lose control. So I have somebody that we could talk. Maybe it'd be going to a social work psychiatrist, whoever it may be. Maybe it'd be a pastor that be there in the room. Somebody who can hold me accountable. You get what I mean? Because of what I might say or what we might do in this situation here. So I guess I would have done that. Now, could that be a parent? Maybe so. I don't know. But we get that. But now in terms of tossing her out, I wouldn't do that because I know we need to talk about this. I'm definitely hurt. Maybe I need to leave for a couple of days. Maybe I need to leave for a certain amount of time and say, hey, listen, I got to get out of here because I got to get this together up here. I got to get what's going on up here in my mind together before we can sit back and have even a dialogue, because it's some things that you've done that I don't even have the words. But now let's go into Lady B, and we want to hear from this.
Well, no, just to piggyback off of both of y'all. I mean, like far as Lovely T and you, just saying that, not kicking her out, or the child out, but like separating in some kind of way, whether it's, until you guys talk, like you said, have them talk with a counselor or, a pastor, somebody, and before they really come together, because you don't know what can happen in the heat of anger, a heat of the moment or whatever. So just being able to, you might have to separate for some time just to kind of wrap your head around the man. He would most definitely have to, I would say, separate for a little time to wrap your head around this thing. So that's what I would say. But yeah, most definitely.
Now let's go into what is her? How do we have the
screen? The name went down.
Delisa. Now, what should we call you? Should we call you counselor?
Lisa.
No, just Lisa is fine. Thank you.
Okay, Lisa. Okay. So Lisa, what is the right thinking for this situation?
Okay, so we have to give him permission to be angry. It's owed to him to go through the 5 stages of grief, and anger is the second stage. He's there and he's stuck there at this very moment, and he's entitled to that. Now, what happens in the midst of that, he acts in a very self-servant way. The approach he chose to do to expose this was self-servant, clearly. So not at all in agreement to that method, but I absolutely feel he's entitled to be where he's at this moment. The asking her and child to leave, then you've already made a decision to disrupt that child. I think one of you mentioned maybe him leaving, because I think we're all in agreement separation for some period of time is probably necessary, just because he's right in the middle of his anger, right? And so he should be the one to be the bigger person and leave. The other way, you're already disrupting that child. To ask mom and child to leave, disruption. To ask mom to leave the child, disruption. So that's what we want to avoid at all costs. Mom, who absolutely is responsible for this, is the person of least concern for me professionally. We have a dad that has began his stages of grief. And I guess there's a couple pieces not clear on this video, like with a movie or anything else. You get what you get, but you wonder. He said he has felt this way for a long time. The child didn't look like him. The child didn't have his features. Well, now we're 6 years old, and this comes out, in an unfortunate way. But you do have to say, why not the conversation before now? I've been feeling this way for 6 years. If I've been wondering for 6 years, what stopped me from bringing this up? So that's a piece. And then, for this child, oh my God, what happens is, I think when you get to the end of the video, he makes a decision, and then he talks about her handling her business, handling what he called unresolved, which is reaching out to the father, the possible father, and letting him know that there's a child out here. So 2 pieces on that. One, she clearly said, it's been 6 years ago. How do I know? So that's concerning. So we mentioned not being sure how long they've been in the relationship, at least acknowledging that from the video, it's been 6 years, but 6 years, she says, how would I know? So, what type of reckless lifestyle or careless lifestyle could she have been engaging in not to even know? And then she says it was one mistake. No, if it was one mistake, how many players in the game?
Wow.
So that's a whole different piece, but that is contributing to his anger, because I'm sure he's thinking these things, and probably blaming himself for not moving on it or acting on it sooner. But that's that whole denial piece. You don't want to believe it. Denial, we sometimes are secure in that, and that's the first stage of grief. We're secure not having to acknowledge what we know to be true.
Well, let me ask you this question real quick. Okay, so now, could he have been wrong? Okay, so we get the child, okay, because he's been in the life for 6 years. But now let's look at the wife. Okay, so now, what if he had told the wife, I don't know about us, and maybe he's making a right-of-way decision and he shouldn't do that right then and there. But as it stands right now, because of the dishonesty, and I don't know if I can trust you, I don't even know if you've been doing other stuff behind my back, because of this major issue here that we should have talked about. Could he been right to say, hey, listen, it's over for us, but I'm going to definitely stay connected with the child. Could he use that? Could he say that? And is that something that could be could be right to do?
And that could be therapeutically appropriate. However, I think Lady B mentioned, if he's not past that anger, if he hasn't went through every one of the 5 stages of grief and dealt with self, what would happen to that child would be simply emotional abandonment. He's there, but he's not there. He still has lack of trust for mom. He still has issues as it relates to the infidelity. Is he able to get past that and offer this child a healthy home? Is he able to maintain the relationship that he had with the child previously? If that's not something he is able to do or even willing to do, then the emotional abandonment that child will feel would be worse.
And let me, you know what? It's interesting in all seriousness. Matter of fact, I just asked my daughter, who's 11, I kind of gave her a synopsis. And I asked her, what, if I said, hey, you just out of there, you're done. And she said, first of all, she said she would cry. She'd be really, really hurt because I've been here all her life. And then she said, ultimately, she said she'll say it's my loss. That was she didn't say it. But honestly, though, I could, just looking at her, I couldn't, just now at 11, I'm out of there.
No, you just said you could kick her out. You could kick her out.
That's entertainment value. When I looked at her, I couldn't even bring myself to, at this point, my relationship with her, I couldn't even do it. But I actually, besides that, I had a friend of mine I grew up with, and the girl was 14. and he found out, and made him, that's what, I was just joking earlier about what I would do. And I encouraged him. I said, bro, you didn't know her. Ultimately, he just 14 years old. Yep. And he found out at that
point. I mean, especially, well, I don't know if this is a different element, but especially when guys have to pay child support and they find out the kid isn't theirs, they're really, really upset. But that's a different, I guess that's, kind of a different lane that we're talking about. But yeah.
But see, here's the thing. That's what I wanted to ask. Can we separate the two? Can I separate? Because I mean, we're saying that we can't get past, and I know there's a lot of baby mama drama out there where the man can't get past the woman, so don't deal with the kids. But can we really, now here's the thing, if the relationship between us two, meaning the child, was healthy, it was a real healthy relationship between us two, can I separate the difference between what she did wrong versus that it wasn't her fault? So then I know, because of our healthy relationship, I think you can get past that, where it doesn't matter despitefully. So what happened here, my relationship with her is so strong where I can still continually be in her life and be able to know the difference between the two. So can we say that we can separate the two?
You absolutely separate the two, but I think if the dad has to have the opportunity to heal. If he is not given that and he's pushed into a situation, and I think, again, if you look at the end of the video, he agrees to try to work it out, and that is not the best decision. So you're forcing him to deal with this without dealing with himself and without giving himself an opportunity to heal. And he made it clear that he didn't feel the child ever looked like him. So now, if you don't give that chance for him to heal and recover, every time he looks at this child, I don't see me, and now I see you, but I see the wicked you. I see the malicious you. So you got to play that in. But I definitely think it can be salvageable, but without him having a time to heal his own wounds, it's going to be very difficult.
Let me read a couple comments real quick. We have one from our awesome producer. Although it was all a mess, I believe it was still a private matter that should have been discussed between them first, but not the parents and in-laws. Also, Antonio Johnson says, yes, it was a mess, but for 6 years, you loved the child, and just to leave the child, I wouldn't do it, but my trust would be in doubt. Thank you, Antonio Johnson.
Well, let me ask you this. See, a lot of times I keep hearing this, and this coming from our perspective, we always use the child as an excuse to stay in the house. Oh, well, yeah, the child, but the child's gonna be hurt, and but you should never did that, so we would never got. And I get it. Is another emotion. There's another person involved now. I get that, but do we use the children always as the excuse to stay in the relationship and not me just want to be happy? You know what I mean? I want to be happy. I don't want this to be put on me where now it's, no, here go the child. No, remember the child now, no. Do we always use that, or is that an excuse?
I think it is. I think that happens often. It definitely does. And then, okay, so he's asking for her to do the right thing by notifying the young man or gentleman that could possibly be the child's father. So then again, another form of rejection. So if this guy doesn't believe he's the child and doesn't want to have anything to do with the child, what are we doing all over again to this child? Or the flip side, what if this gentleman is very responsible and willing to step up, and now he wants more of an active, invested role? So then how does that put this relationship?
And and you know what? Let me add this though. I will have to make a decision either, and I'm thinking about this. Either I'm going to remain in the child's life, and I don't want you to contact old boy, because what will happen, I'm just thinking about me. This guy, I'm gonna say it bluntly, ran up my woman, and he's around while we was together. So I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna mess with me. So either he's out of there, I've been with her all these years, let me stay in the child's life and be the father. And like you said, Tony, try to separate the mom and be the father. But if the guy got to come back around, I'm out. Because the fact
So you would never tell the child that you're not the biological father?
Would I ever tell her?
Yeah.
Some people don't.
No,
Some people don't. But see, here's the thing I wanted to say, and that's actually pretty good, because I think that's a good statement. My thing is this, right? I think that first I would have to sit down and talk. And I want to ask everybody to go through your scenario in this situation. When I'm not this one, but I'm gonna throw something out there. But okay, I guess in that one, because that's very important, because now you're dealing man to man. Some things I think that is a man thing where you need to know. Me as a man, I would want to know my child. So my thing is this. I think that I would definitely make sure, because here's the thing. I don't know if she played him. Maybe she didn't want him to know. You get what I mean? But you just threw it on me because, we married and I take care of my business. But, he wanted to know and you just didn't want, whatever that is. So I think that I would definitely give the opportunity, to say, hey, listen, set this up. Maybe I'm going to go with you. I don't know if I'm gonna go with you, because I don't know where we are right now. Even if I'm in that mindset, but I'm saying I would be like, let's set up in a neutral spot. Maybe he can even come here, or maybe who knows. But I definitely want to meet this man, and maybe he didn't know you was married. Maybe he did. I don't know what the situation was, but I definitely want the child to have. Maybe she's gonna have two fathers. Maybe it'll benefit her. I don't know. But the thing is that she definitely know who this guy is, and give her an opportunity to love her father the way she should be loving, in that aspect or whatever. But this is what I wanted to find out. What would each one of us, what would you have done if that was your situation? And let's start with RW3. What would you have done? And then I want I just got to call you the counselor. I want you to tell us what should have been done based on your educational background. What do you think, or how he should have addressed this situation? But before that, let's go around the table and see where our minds are. RW3, what would you have done if that was you?
First, real quick, Professor Kiba Green, you said that was my question. I don't know what question you're referencing, so if you can put that in the chat box, what your question was, and also you said, yes, the child is a priority. So if you can tell us what your question is, we can address that. Because, the fact that if I had found that out, I do believe I may not have went to the extreme of how he did it, but I probably would have moved to some sort of shameful movement. I don't know what it would have been exactly. So first, I probably would have, I may have just one day, especially if that was my house, she would have came home and all her stuff would have been like out in the yard or something. The locks would have been changed, something like that. And I would have had the daughter in the house. So then after that, I probably would have, like I said earlier, I probably need some therapy, but I still think I would want to be connected to the child. I may have grown to the place where because I would have wanted to know if it was my child. So I would have probably had to get therapy to the place where I wanted him involved. But initially, the dad being connected, I wouldn't have wanted him because looking at him would remind me of her cheating, and I'm human, and that would have bothered me that you're unprotected with this man that day. It mean you probably did it the same night. I mean, those things would have been in my mind, and, and I've been struggling. So that's my initial thought. But Professor Keeper Green said, "What lovely," T said, would you tell the child or let them know so they can have two father figures? So that was her what she said. So this is my general thought off the cuff.
All right, what about you, Lovely T, real quick?
Yeah, because as Miss Lisa says, healing has to occur. You can't have healing with secrets. And me working with DV and sexual assault, that's you can't, secrets kill, right? Secrets prevent healing. So as long as you're saying like, oh, I don't want the biological father to know, from where I sit, I feel like, well, that's just a card that you want to hold to always have over me. You know what I'm saying? It's your convenience.
We're not together. We're not together. I don't have to.
No. But you gave the scenario that you wouldn't want. So it wouldn't matter if y'all was together. If y'all together, and you were saying that you wouldn't want you wouldn't want to reach out to the biological father. You would prefer for the biological father to stay out of the picture, so you wouldn't have to be bothered with that before your reasons. And my question was, you wouldn't want the child to know that she is not, you are not her biological father. And so I'm saying you can't have total healing.
Hold on, didn't Joe ask you about you? Don't ask me nothing. What about you?
Anyway.
Well, it is. What would you do?
I just wanted to start there. You cannot have healing with secrets. So you have to deal with reality. So yes, that's what, and that lends itself to what I would do. If I was in that situation, first of all, I wouldn't wait no damn 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to put my big girl panties on and say, hey, for whatever reason.
No. I'm saying if you say, just reverse it. Say, what would you do if you were the one in his shoes? You get what I mean? What would you do if you?
So I'm married and my husband comes home.
Exactly.
My husband said,
exactly.
Well, wait a minute. Well, okay, so it would have to be a little different. So my husband brings a child home who's 6 years old and says, "Baby, this is my
you raised her for 6 years."
No, there's no way that can happen.
That's because he have a mother.
There's no way that can happen.
The child was born.
Yeah. Well, be the man. Just be the man. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. So, all right. Again, if I found that out, I would definitely be hurt. But I would talk to the person first. And then, as like Miss Lisa said, I can't even wrap my mind around waiting 6 years. I would be like, baby, at year 2, year 3, year 4, I would have been like, baby, I think we need, no disrespect, but this child, as they get older, they're growing into their features. I don't see any of me in this child. I really have a problem with that. So either I need you to come clean, or I'm gonna, we need to get a paternity test in order for me to feel comfortable, because I'm just too uncomfortable moving forward with all of this doubt. I would have had to have that conversation much earlier in the game and not just, let it fester, because that's why he reacted the way he did, because he let it fester for so long. So that would be me.
What about you, Lady B?
Well,
if you was him,
backing off everyone, I would be hurt. If I was in that situation and being the man, I would be very, very devastated. But you do have to make room to forgive as well. I know as time go on, you will forgive and begin to heal as time goes on, but some don't. But if I was in that situation, because I have a forgiving heart, I would, like I said, after counseling, after just really going through things, working on it together, I most definitely would forgive and try to move on. Wow.
And for me, I guess for my situation, if that was me, I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna be irate. Forget that. I'm gonna be irate. I'm gonna be up to here. I'm gonna be past here. Because I already know. Knowing me, I'm gonna focus more on what happened, that you cheated and you try to. Cause see, I don't even like to feel like nobody using me. That's just me. I don't even. So that's gonna be. If I can get over that part, then I can deal with everything else. The fact that you went out infidelity and you did all this stuff and then 6 years, you didn't no time that you have the opportunity to sit me down so we can at least have this conversation. I think I'm going to be eating up about that, first of all. But now, this is what I would do. I would definitely, again, like I said, knowing me, because mine's going to be always connected to the church, we're going to call the pastor up and make sure he's a good pastor, because just because you're a pastor don't mean you can deal with this type of situation, right? So I'm going to make sure we have this conversation. She's going to be there. I'm going to be there, and I'm gonna let it out. You may not be able to handle it, but I'm gonna get it all off my shoulders, right, out of my mind. I'm gonna dump it on you real hard. But my thing is this: at the end of the day, I gotta make the decision. Do I want you still in my life? See, here's the thing for me. I don't care about anything else, but if I want you to still be a part of me. So that's going to be my biggest decision. I don't care what you say. I don't care what a counselor say. I don't care what a pastor say. Can I live with you? That's my biggest one. Can I live with you? Now, if I think that I can live with you and I can get past this, whatever, time, however you want to slice the cake, then I'll say, okay, you know what? We can do this. I can get over it. It was 6 years ago. It was 6 years ago. Our relationship is strong now. You know what I mean? Maybe I can get over it. But so the first thing that I would do is we'll have the conversation with the pastor. I'll be too embarrassed to tell my parents. So that would never happen. So we'll talk with the pastor and get this conversation going out with the pastor. And then what we would do is we'll make the decision of separation. We definitely will separate. You stay at your spot, I stay at my spot, because we're not going to live together, because like you said, we don't know what can happen in the in between time. So now here's the thing. Now here's the key point. I will let her stay at the house. I'm just going to go somewhere because that's the child and you guys need to be safe. I'm still going to pay the rent at the house, pay the bills, whatever. But, so you can see, and I'm going to stick you that way because you can see how good of a person I am to make you even feel even worse because I'm a good man, right? But I'm just playing. But anyway, I'm going to let you do what you got to do. I'm going to take care of it. But I'm going to be over here and I'm going to go on a month worth of cheating on you in Cuba. I'm going to fly to Cuba and cheat on you every day for the whole 30 days. I'm going to cheat on you. I'm just playing. You know what I mean? But I ain't taking that serious. I'm just playing with you. But anyway, I'm gonna leave and then just come home. But here's the thing. Now, here's the thing, and I'm different. So with the child, right? I'm gonna set up something to meet this man because I gotta meet him. I have to see this guy. We have to have dialogue. I need you to. I'm gonna see what type of guy that he is in terms of taking care of a child. Do he have those qualities to take care of this child right here in the way it needs to be done so she can be cared for? If he's a good person, now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down with the daughter, with the young lady, and I'm going to express to her, this is your father. He's a good, from far as we know, maybe it may take some time. Maybe it take 30 days, maybe take a month or whatever, but 6 months. But I want you to see your father. And if he say, maybe he I can't just let her go over to the house because I don't know, he could be a pervert. I don't know who this guy is, right? So I'll set up something where they can meet. But here's the thing, if I see that the relationship is strong, I'm not taking fathership. I don't want to be two fathers. I'm going to tell you that, listen, I'm your friend now. Here's the thing. I want to be your friend. I'm going to be your friend. So that what's going to happen is, and see, I'm just keeping it 100. I don't know if I'm going to call, once the father starts coming into your life, being the father, being healthy, I can't guarantee you that I'm going to be there calling you every day. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just a realist. So my thing is, but I want this man to love you the way that I did. If we have a connection, then we have a connection, then you can come by. But I don't want to take what he's supposed to do. He's the father. He's the nurturer. I want him to be the father. I still would be in the life, but it wouldn't be as strong as it was the first time, because I just know me. I know me. I'm not going to want to take his place because of what she did. I want him, if he's a good man. Now, if he's not a good person, you'll notice as being your father, but I feel responsible to raise you so that you can have a really good life and be able, defend for yourself when you get a certain age. But if he's not, listen, this your job. Hey, it was a good ride, 6 years. It was cool. Hey, listen, you still can come over. We can still kick it, because I don't want to tear that relationship from you. But this is who this your father. You going to call him daddy. You know what I mean? I'm your friend. Call me Tony. Call me Mr. Tony or whatever, but I'm your friend. I know, but I don't want that burden on me. I don't want it. I just don't. I don't want that. Here you go. Love her. Take care of her. She can come over. She can visit. She can do, and we can still be cool, do what we do. But you're going to recognize him as being who he's supposed to be, and that's your father. So that's what I would do with the woman or with my wife. We'll just work that stuff out. We'll work that out. If we're going to be together, we're going to be together. We're not. I don't know, but that's what I would do. So, but yeah, what would you? So let's hear from the counselor, the doctor. What's the right thing to do?
You know what? We're talking people's lives. We're talking life of a child. We're talking a dad, assumed dad that is hurt, and we're talking about a mom that has some that acted in an irresponsible way. So right or wrong, the only wrong is not agreeing to do something about this situation that's been put in front of us. That's the clear wrong. The right, and is subjective, is a mutual agreement for that child's well-being to be first and foremost. The guy and the young lady can work it out or not, but the mutual agreement that whatever's done, whichever direction we go in, we're going to agree that her well-being, the well-being of this 6-year-old child, is first and foremost. And how that looks is to be determined, because there's assumption that there's a dad out there that may be responsible enough to step in and be a dad. But again, back to mom's comments that it's been 6 years. How do I know?
Yeah.
That means it's less likely that could be the case.
That's right.
But we just want to protect this child at all costs. And if there is a dad out there who wants to be responsible and wants to be an active part of this child's life, even sharing that information and introducing the idea of two dads, that has to be done fragilely. She's 6 years old. So unlike the young lady that Robert talked about being 14, and you can have a little more real type conversation with her, that's not going to be the case for this 6-year-old. She's looking for normal. What's normal? It's not normal to have two dads.
Right.
So how that message is delivered and her own psyche behind that is going to be extremely important.
Well,
if I could add though, Tom, to what you were saying, like your approach is nice and neat. I just want to throw a little curveball. You know how you do sometimes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Say that. So once you unleash the truth, like you really are out of control of it. And I say that because you gave a perfect scenario of the dad is either responsible and wants to be in the child's life, or the dad is not responsible and won't be in the child's life. But you do have that gray where once you say, I think you're the dad, even though you're, a drug, addicted, or irresponsible Negro, but still, I think you're the dad. And he says, okay, well, let's get a paternity test. Once it's determined that he is the dad, he can take you to court. And so you may not have that decision to say whether or not you want him in the child's life or not. Then it becomes a matter of the courts to determine that.
Right.
I'm just throwing that caveat out there to say it's not always like
that's true.
Perfect little,
But see, here's the thing to that. But here's the thing to that. I'm going. Here's the thing. So, well, hold on. This is where the love steps in. So here's the thing. If he's not qualified, he could take me to court, but I'm gonna fight him in terms of his lifestyle. We're gonna flush all that out in the street. You know what I mean? Because if I'm going to fight for her, I got to fight for her or him, wherever it is, so that she would be able to be, like we said, in a healthy environment. So I'm going to make sure that that comes with the territory. See, that's the thing where the maturity have to step in and say, you know what? Either I'm gonna deal with this, or I'm not going to deal with this. You can take her and y'all going on y'all little merry way, and I'm done with all of it. You can, if my emotions can take, but the believer in me, the believer, the God man in me, I know that wouldn't be right. You get what I mean? So, and that's what I would fight more than anything. The God conscious in me to say, hey, listen, now you got to step up and you have to do what you have to do, and that's what's going to be tugging me more than more of anything else, doing the right thing. You get what I mean? So if I got to fight that in court, we're going to fight it in court. You get what I mean? But I believe that you can talk to anybody. First, it's going, even the man. Listen, find out who this guy is. Let him know who you are, what you've been doing. Let him see that this is a 6-year-old who need to be taken care of. If you can't do that, you know what I mean? I'm here. You get what I mean? I want to do that, but you're going to have to make the decision, or we're going to go to court and we're going to put each other's stuff out there in the street. If you got the money to do it, then let's make it happen, because I'm going to do that. You get what I mean? So I mean, anything can be negotiated. You just got to know how to negotiate. You know what I mean? Now, if he just that type of guy, I mean, let the cards fall as they may. Let's go to court. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm but if I don't care about her enough, hey, I see you. You know what I mean? Which likely wouldn't happen with me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what it is. And more so with a girl than I think with a boy. Boys, girls, they do a little bit more different than the guy. The boys, if he a little bad seed, and I was wondering who he was, and he didn't act like me because of that over rebellious. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing around
right now.
Yeah, I'm just playing. But guys, we thank you. This was an interesting topic. Next week, we have even a more interesting topic. Is about, are women quick? Are we going to be here next week? Or are we going to do our watch party? I want to talk to you offline on that, because I have to shoot a wedding Sunday. We'll figure out some things on that. We'll talk offline on this.
But go ahead and say the topic before Lisa gets off. What's the topic again? What's the topic? Do Black women, they don't like to take direction?
Well, before we get into this, I want you to let us know. I want the doctor is there any information that you want to share with anybody of overall perspective to line this up? And what can you say in a quick second about anything that can put some perspective to this? A person is in that situation. The person that could be in that situation right now, because it could be a ton of them in that situation right now.
One thing I did want to mention real quickly is, by law, we just mentioned court, that gentleman is the legal father.
Right.
That whole I'll take you to court thing, you're already in court on paper. So that's a whole nother issue. So if you get a dad that has the financial means to take care of that child, then that's the court making or holding him responsible. But other than that, the deadbeat dad that has no desire to be in this child's life, that father trumps in court because he's already the legal dad of record by virtue of the marriage to the mom. So I do want to clear that. And it's just the whole scenario came out under what we talked about, the hurt people. And that's what we have to keep in mind when we're dealing with decisions and the impact on the child. Let's not hurt this child. Let's protect and preserve this child's well-being.
And real quick to add to that, my friend, to your point, Delisa, they didn't let him stop. He still had to pay child support for until it got worked out because he's like, I ain't the daddy, I got this test. The court still require him until they get it all flushed out. So I think he paid an additional year or some more child support and support for the child. They wouldn't let him pull the medical or none of that from that child.
Yep.
But you know what? Another thing from court TV, I forgot that one show that comes on, the black judge. She will always say that the one who signs the birth certificate, if you put your name on that birth certificate, you are responsible for that child. And it's not saying necessary that they'll take your name off. Now, that's what the judge said. She said it's not necessarily saying that they'll pull your name off because you are the biological father. If you sign your name on that birth certificate, I watched a lot. I used to love court TV.
You could be in trouble too. It's called paternity. I have it in a docs or whatever. You can be in trouble for saying that a child is somebody's and is not their child. You can be in trouble by law.
My wife pulled that up by law. You can say that she. So that's another thing to look at. So the legal ramifications can be kind of like detrimental.
So it's called paternity fraud. If a man is presumed to be the biological father, but it turns out through DNA testing that he is not the child's father, then that's an issue. You can go to court. You can be in trouble.
So all you fathers out there, I'm about to stir something up. Get a DNA test and take it to court. Put her in jail. Throw her, lock her up. I'm just playing. But you take her. But listen, we got to start taking that serious because it's wrong on both sides of the coin. However you look at it, you shouldn't walk in deception, especially when it comes to a child, because you're playing where I like him better than him, so I'm gonna choose him to be the father. No, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You can be in trouble for that. So for those who are watching or will watch, maybe this may get 3 or 4 hits after we post it. Just look at this thing, man. Games. I mean, stop playing the games. You did wrong. Own up to the responsibility.
Get rid of the secrets and deal in truth.
And what do I do? I was in the military all over the world. I might have babies overseas. How did I deal with that? Go to Korea, go to Europe, and try to track them down. Lovely T.
Is your daughter listening to this? Because you really setting up a bad.
Right.
Well, I mean, I had a friend that was in Germany. He was in Germany for years, and I mean, he was out there, doing his thing. And I had friends in the Marines because I was gonna be in the Marines. I thought that was the best one anyway, being in the Marines.
We should do a show on why black men always so easily go outside of the black race anyway. But that's another topic.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I love the Marines. I used to ride around with my man all the time. I was going to sign, but I just didn't. I thought they were the top gun. Those were the big dogs to me, either Marines or Air Force. I know a guy that he retired 20 years from the Air Force, but I mean, they lived their lives. They did a lot of dirt, though. I'm gonna be honest with you on that. But it is what it is. We digress.
But sometimes the sisters want to wear the pants and the dress. But go ahead, Tone, close it out.
No, I'm just closing us out. We thank our guests, our quick guests that just popped in. Maybe we'll do pop-ups like this. Pop them in. And guys, listen, like and subscribe. Take care of one another. Regardless of whatever it is, take care of one another. Learn what love really is. What love is. That's that last podcast. Oh, geez. I was so that last podcast, you said I met my match but I wanted to tear a hole in there. I could have tore.
I know.
I wanted to eat that alive. I was just held back. And listen,
Michelle Obama said you got to take the high road, and you
got to
did
take the
that.
high road. He sparked me to go do research. After that, just so, oh my God, I'm glad that's over. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But anyway, look, love one another. Understand what love is. Learn. It's charitable. It's giving to one another. We don't hurt it. If I'm helping you and you helping me, guess what? We helping each other. We don't have room for anything else because we're taking care of one another. I'm taking care of you. You taking care of me. Wrong can't be in that if we're helping and we're taking care of one another. We're serving one another. Right. Let's learn to serve one another and not fall back to our own desires of always. We selfish by nature, but I don't want to go there. But anyway, it is what it is. Listen, love one another. Yes. Do what it is you need to do. You know the right thing. Listen, and stop. Get out of them relationships you know that ain't good for you in the first place. You know, I digress. I don't want to go there. But anyway, but guys, we digress. We see you. Like, share this pod, and guys, we'll see you next Sunday. RW3 and Lovely T. Stay on because I want y'all to stay on so we can talk about what we need to do on this next pod. But thank you.
Bye.